Great to see you this afternoon. It seems that Labour leader Keir Starmer is now saying the UK and its allies should ban RT over Russia's recognition of the Donbass. It seems whether sanctions or anti-Russia rhetoric action seem to have no bounds these days.
Yeah, I hope people watching this all around the world don't think it's propaganda. If you think it is, they should probably switch it off. Keir Starmer, critics say he was instrumental when he ran as top prosecutor of the Crown Prosecution Service against Julian Assange. Of course, the UN says is tortured here, detained here, a beacon of free speech. Britain has such a long history of free speech, Speaker's Corner. But the Labour leader wants RT to be shut down not only in Britain, but all around the world. That means RT France, RT Spanish, RT America, RT France. I mean, there are so many, RT German. All of them have to be shut down all around the world. This is the attitude of the front bench of the British Labour Party today. Criticism against him by his own party and his party members has been rife since the end of Jeremy Corbyn, who's been expelled from the Parliamentary Labour Party. But the idea of an opposition party in this country calling for the banning of a TV station, as UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, of course, who was a former journalist, said, we don't politically ban TV stations and media. There is a regulator here called Ofcom. I should say, though, that he was asked, Johnson, about the extra financing for the BBC and its World Service programmes, which I should say are regulated not by the regulator here, Ofcom, they're regulated by the Foreign Secretary. So arguably the BBC is seen by the British government as a literal mouthpiece of the British establishment. No word from Ofcom yet. Obviously, we're still broadcasting here at the moment in Britain, but it wasn't only Sir Keir Starmer, as you played there, it was the Scottish Nationalist Party. I don't know what William Wallace would say about Edinburgh kowtowing to Washington and the most hawkish elements of London. But I think we should be hoping that NGOs for free speech, from Reporters Without Borders to Amnesty International, will be there to defend this channel against Sir Keir Starmer, the British Labour Party and so on, who want to ban free speech in this country.
Well, Afshin, as you well know, RT's mantra is that of to question more, and we do tend to question the mainstream narratives, and it does seem to get us in an awful lot of trouble. Afshin, President Putin highlighted the, quote, aggressive nationalism in the Ukrainian government and what has been very harsh treatment of Russian speakers in the eastern part of the country. At RT, we've been highlighting these things for many, many years, and at the end of the day, without such coverage, would Western viewers be getting only a one-side narrative?
Propaganda has been key to all the NATO nation failed adventurism in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Libya and in Syria. And whilst RT has been talking about neo-Nazi insignia, apparently on Azov battalions and so on, which are now part of the Ukrainian military, which is armed by London, the British press, as RT I know has covered, has been showing and interviewing, the BBC actually interviewing members of these so-called far-right groups as if they are freedom fighters for sovereignty and defenders of Budapest agreements and Minsk II agreements. So I don't think anywhere on NATO nation media, on TV. I mean, certainly if you watch NBC in the United States or the BBC here or the independent channel here, ITV News, all regulated by Ofcom, you wouldn't realize there's any neo-Nazi right-wing element, let alone what the role of NATO nations has been in creating the Ukraine that appeared after the coup d'etat in before this crisis began, and so the Russians say precipitated it.
Afshin, let's bring up the issues here of sanctions. Afshin, so far, German sanctions are hitting Nord Stream 2. The UK has blacklisted several Russian banks. Afshin, if there's no further escalation in the Ukraine crisis, how far can you see the Western sanctions going? We know they were prepared weeks in advance.
Well, apparently Joe Biden wants to sanction Donetsk and Luhansk republics. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not even that sure, and people can watch our interview on Going Underground with a specialist in business affairs as regards these kinds of sanctions, how it particularly stops Russian recognition of Luhansk and Donetsk, to stop very rich Russians from investing in property in London. There seems to be a complete mismatch. I suppose the danger is certainly one of information. It is good so far. I think we have to say that Washington and London haven't banned RT outright. But as these narratives differ more and more, just as they did over Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya and Syria in recent years, I wonder whether they'll start to think that information and what Russia considers as lies, this is the crucial tool of NATO to spread what Russia and much of the global South believes is imperialist ambitions. And we've got to remember, Ukraine itself has apparently banned 5 TV stations in recent months.
Afshin Rattansi, the host of RT's programme Going Underground. Much appreciated. Good to see you. Thanks for that.
Thank you.